So today, we're diving into something that feels like two different worlds on a collision course. On one side, you have technology, which is moving forward at just a breakneck speed. And on the other, you have our natural world, which is, well, it's literally changing color right before our eyes. Let's explore how these two are connected.
It sounds a little like a riddle, doesn't it? I mean, what could possibly link a country's digital ranking with the tiny pigments in a butterfly's wings? Well, stick with me because as we're about to see, they're really just two sides of the very same coin, a story about human progress and its very real consequences.
All right, first up, let's talk about the engine of our modern age, our digital acceleration. We're going to measure this using a really fascinating tool that basically gives us a snapshot of a country's technological heartbeat.
And that tool is called the Network Readiness Index, or NRI for short. Think of it like a massive, detailed report card for the digital age. It's put out by the Portland's Institute, and it doesn't just look at who has the fastest internet. No, it goes way deeper, measuring how well a country actually uses all that tech to fuel real growth and new ideas. So, where does India stand? Actually, it's doing pretty well. It just climbed 4 spots to hit 45th in the world, which shows some serious positive momentum. But, that single number, it doesn't even begin to tell the whole story. Let's dig in and see where the country's real tech power is hiding.
And here's where things get really, really interesting. Get this. When it comes to the sheer volume of research and publications in artificial intelligence, India is #1 globally. That points to an absolutely massive intellectual engine that's helping to shape the future of AI.
And it doesn't even stop there. In the export of information and communication technology services, the very backbone of the global digital economy, India is also ranked #1. A true global powerhouse in tech services.
Okay, so what's fueling all this? You guessed it, investment. India is #1 in the world for telecom investment. That means the pipes, the cables, the whole infrastructure to support this digital explosion is being built out at an unbelievable rate. So the foundation is just incredibly strong.
What I find so cool about the NRI is how it breaks everything down. It's not just about who has the flashiest new tech. No, it looks at the whole picture with 4 main pillars: the actual technology that's available, the readiness of the people to use it, the governance that supports it, and finally, the real-world impact it's all having. It's a complete 360-degree view of progress. Okay, but here's where our story takes a sharp turn. Because for all the brilliance and the incredible speed of our digital world, there's a shadow that's growing alongside it. A side effect that's a lot quieter, but maybe just as profound. Let's talk about that shadow. Scientists have a name for it: ecological discoloration. It's basically the unseen price tag of the very industrial progress that fuels our digital lives. And it means the literal color palette of our planet is starting to, fade. I mean, just think about it. We picture nature in these brilliant, vibrant colors, right? Deep blue oceans, lush green forests, incredibly colorful animals. But climate change and pollution are messing with that. Oceans are turning a murky green because of algal blooms. Forests are browning from drought. And a lot of species are literally losing their color. So why is this happening? Well, an animal's color isn't just for show. It's an absolutely critical survival tool. It helps them regulate their body heat. It's used for camouflage to hide from predators. But when their whole environment is under stress, these colors can change as a direct result. And, this isn't some brand new thing. There's a classic story that perfectly illustrates this: the peppered moth back in the Industrial Revolution. As factories pumped out soot that blackened the trees, the light-colored moths suddenly stuck out like a sore thumb for birds. But the darker moths, they blended right in and survived. It was evolution happening right in front of everyone's eyes, all driven by us. And it's not random. There are actual scientific rules that help explain this. You've got Bogart's rule, which says in colder spots, cold-blooded animals tend to be darker to soak up more heat. Then there's Gloger's rule, which notes that in warmer areas, animals often have lighter colors. As our whole planet's climate gets scrambled, these basic rules are being put to a serious test. And these ripple effects are everywhere, often powered by the very same industrial engine that's boosting our digital rankings. Pollution in cities is making birds' feathers duller. When plants lose their pigment, it messes up pollination. We're seeing massive coral bleaching, which is the color literally draining from our underwater forests all along India's coasts. And yep, we're back to our riddle. Deforestation has been directly linked to butterflies losing their vibrant colors. The connections are all there.
So we've got this incredible tech boom on one side and these serious ecological costs on the other. It feels pretty big, right?
So, what's our response? If our past technologies kind of created these problems, can we actually get ahead of the curve with this next massive wave, artificial intelligence?
Okay, look at this number. Just look at it. 250,946. Let that sink in for a second. What on earth could that be? That is the number of pledges taken by people in India in just 24 hours to use AI responsibly and ethically. It's a brand new Guinness World Record. This is this huge collective statement about the kind of future people want to build with this powerful new technology.
And the scale of this is just mind-blowing. To put this in perspective, the campaign's initial goal was maybe 5,000 pledges. What they got was over 250,000. This wasn't just some small campaign. It was a nationwide movement, and it shows there's a massive public hunger to steer technology in the right direction.
And this really gets us to the heart of it all. This isn't about choosing tech or nature. It's about finding the balance between them. This is the real race we have to win, the race between our own incredible creations and our wisdom to manage them.
You know, this really says it all, doesn't it? We're building this amazing future driven by progress, but what's it all for if it comes at the expense of the very world that supports us? The two have to go hand in hand.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Our technology is moving at a dizzying pace. The AI revolution, the network effect, it's all getting faster and faster. The real challenge, the one that's going to define our era, is this. Can our wisdom, our sense of responsibility, our ethics, can they possibly keep up?
Today, we're going to tackle current affairs in a fresh, quiz-style format. We've got some key questions on global sustainability and resource trends that could very well pop up in your exams. So are you ready to put your knowledge to the test? Let's get started. All right, here's our game plan for today. First up, we'll look into India's big push towards a green economy. Then we'll zoom out to see the pressures our world is facing. After that, we'll dive into the clean energy dilemma. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a quick revision of the key takeaways. So let's kick things off with round one, India's green economy push. In this section, we'll tackle questions about India's policies and biotech innovations. Here is your very first question on the screen.
The question is, bio-based chemicals, which are a sustainable alternative to petrochemicals, how are they primarily produced? Your options are A, by refining imported crude oil, B, from biomass using fermentation and enzymatic processes, C, by extracting deep-sea natural gas reserves, or D, through the combustion of recycled plastics. Think carefully. You've got 5 seconds.
And the correct answer is option B, from biomass using fermentation and enzymatic processes. Fantastic job to everyone who picked B. Now, let's break down how this actually works. So the crucial point here is that these chemicals don't come from fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. Instead, they're made from agricultural biomass, things like sugarcane bagasse or corn. The fermentation process then creates products like lactic acid and bioalcohols. And the biggest advantage? It cuts down our country's dependence on petrochemical imports, which is a huge plus for our economy. Okay, next question is about policy, which is super important for exams. The question is, under the Department of Biotechnology, or DBT, which specific Indian policy framework prioritizes the production of bio-based chemicals and enzymes? Your options: A, the BioE3 policy, B, the National Green Hydrogen Mission, C, the PMKUSUM scheme, or D, the Bharat-Mala project. Your time starts now. Yes, you got it. The correct answer is option A, the BioE3 policy. Make sure you remember this name. It's a common one in policy-based questions. You see, this policy is a direct priority for the Department of Biotechnology. Its goal isn't just to produce biochemicals, but also to financially empower farmers, because they are the source of the biomass. It's really a win-win for India. We protect the environment and farmers' incomes increase. This is a massive step towards a green economy. All right, let's move on from India's policies and see what's happening on a global scale. Our next round is A World Under Pressure, where we'll explore the serious impacts of climate change. This next question is a bit concerning. It's projected that by the year 2100, climate change will cause a massive 36 to 50% decline in the world's grazing lands. The question is, which continent will be the most affected by this? Your options are A, North America, B, South America, C, Europe, or D, Africa.
Just think about how deep the impact of this could be. And the correct but very grim answer is option D, Africa. This isn't just a statistic, it's a sign of a major humanitarian challenge ahead.
Just take another look at this number, 36 to 50%. That means nearly half of the grasslands in Africa could disappear. This is a crisis that will directly impact the lives and livelihoods of millions of people.
And here you can understand the full chain reaction. Climate change will raise temperatures, reduce rainfall, and wipe out vegetation. This turns a land barren, a process we call desertification. This directly impacts millions of pastoralists whose lives depend on livestock. When the grazing lands disappear, it will create situations of famine and migration, which is a huge threat to the food security and stability of the entire region.
We are now heading into our final round. This one is about a paradox, a real dilemma. The section is called the Clean Energy Dilemma. We're going to explore the resource challenges that are emerging on the path to adopting clean energy.
The question is, compared to a regular petrol or diesel car, how many times more copper is needed to build an electric vehicle, or EV? Your options are A, they both use the same amount, B, 2 times more, C, 4 to 5 times more, or D, 10 times more.
And the right answer is option C, 4 to 5 times more. Yes, you heard that right. An EV uses 4 to 5 times more copper than a standard car. That's a pretty startling figure.
Now, look at this bar chart. It makes the whole story crystal clear. If a petrol car uses 1 unit of copper, an EV needs about 4.5 units. This visual really drives home just how huge the demand for minerals is becoming because of the EV revolution.
So the big question is, where does all this copper go? Well, it's used heavily in the EV's battery, its electric motor, and the extensive wiring that runs throughout the vehicle. And it's not just the car itself. Building the entire infrastructure of charging stations on our roads also requires a massive amount of copper.
And now for our final question of the day. Experts are predicting a global deficit in copper supply starting from 2026. What is the primary reason for this supply shortage? Your options are A, a sudden global ban on all mining activities, B, underinvestment, declining ore grades, and the 10 to 15-year period it takes to start a new mine, C, the discovery of a cheaper synthetic alternative to copper, or D, a drastic reduction in copper consumption by China.
And the final correct answer of this quiz is option B. This is a complex supply chain issue that has been slowly building for years and is now emerging as a major challenge.
There are 3 major factors working together behind this shortage. First, chronic underinvestment, which means not enough money has been invested for decades to find and develop new mines. Second, declining ore grades, which means the mines that are currently operating are producing lower quality ore. And third, the long gestation period, meaning even if a new mine is discovered today, it takes 10 to 15 years to get it fully operational. Together, these 3 have created a perfect storm.
You all played brilliantly. The quiz ends here, but now comes the most important part, a rapid-fire revision, so all these facts stick in your mind. So, today's 5 key takeaways are, number 1, India's Bio-E3 policy is promoting biochemicals. Number 2, climate change could reduce Africa's grazing lands by up to 50%. Number 3, an EV needs 4 to 5 times more copper than a standard car. Number 4, a major global copper shortage is expected from 2026. And number 5, biochemicals are made from biomass through fermentation. And with that, we conclude today's explainer. We've seen that the green transition is necessary, but it's bringing a huge resource challenge with it. And that leaves us with one big question. The green shift is already happening, but is the world really ready for the resource crunch it's about to cause? Definitely something to think about.